Imagine a world where your entire life could be uprooted in mere moments. This was the reality for many Cambodians under the chilling reign of Pol Pot. In the mid-70s, a shadow began to creep over Cambodia, a shadow by the name of Pol Pot, the leader of the Khmer Rouge. This group, armed with radical Maoist and Marxist-Leninist ideologies, seized control of the country in 1975, marking the beginning of a reign of terror that would last 4 long, grueling years. The Khmer Rouge, under Pol Pot's direction, sought to transform Cambodia into a classless agrarian utopia. To achieve this, they embarked on a radical program of forced relocation. City dwellers, intellectuals, and anyone perceived as a threat to the new order were driven out of their homes and into the countryside. In a matter of days, Cambodia was transformed into a brutal agrarian society, setting the stage for one of history's darkest chapters. The heart of darkness lay in the killing fields, a chilling testament to Pol Pot's brutal regime. The killing fields of Cambodia, a term coined by the media, refers to the numerous sites scattered across the country where mass executions took place under the Khmer Rouge's reign of terror. A grim landscape, these were the final resting places for many of the regime's victims, their lives brutally ended by execution or the harsh conditions of forced labor. The scale of human suffering during this time is staggering. Conservative estimates suggest that between 1.7 and 2 million people perished under Pol Pot's rule. That's roughly a quarter of Cambodia's population at the time. They succumbed to execution, forced labor, starvation, and disease, victims of a regime that valued ideological purity over human life. Among the killing fields, one site stands out for its notoriety, the S-21 prison, also known as Tuol Sleng. Once a high school, it was transformed into a place of unimaginable horror. Here, prisoners were subjected to brutal torture, forced to confess to imaginary crimes against the state. Of the approximately 20,000 people who were imprisoned at S-21, only a handful survived to tell their tale. The killing fields stand as a stark reminder of the horrors that humanity is capable of when consumed by ideology. They offer a silent testimony to the lives lost, the families torn apart, and the society that was forever scarred by Pol Pot's reign of terror. Pol Pot's reign of terror ended in 1979, but the scars of his regime remain. The catalyst for this downfall was the Vietnamese invasion, a result of border disputes and Pol Pot's purges spilling over into Vietnam. This decisive intervention led to the collapse of the Khmer Rouge and the end of Pol Pot's dictatorship. Yet, despite the atrocities he masterminded, Pol Pot lived a relatively quiet life after his fall from power. He spent his remaining years in the jungles of Cambodia, shielded by remnants of his regime until his death in 1998. The long-term effects of his regime, however, continued to reverberate through Cambodia. Survivors were left to grapple with deep-seated trauma, their lives shattered by the loss of loved ones and the horrors they had witnessed. The nation was left in ruins, its people mired in poverty, its infrastructure decimated. Pol Pot's horrific legacy serves as a sobering reminder of the devastating effects of totalitarianism and the importance of remembering history to prevent such atrocities in the future.